Welcome to Cruising Altitude, the podcast where we rise above the turbulence of life and step into the freedom, clarity, and luxury of living life at our highest level. I'm Kelly O'Shea, business development consultant, private jet advisor, investor relations specialist, author, solo mom, and living proof that you can crash into life's turbulence, pick up the pieces, and still arrive in style. Whether you're navigating business, healing, or building a life that feels limitless, this is your boarding pass to living a life you were brave enough to chase. So buckle up, we're ready for takeoff. Okay, welcome back to Cruising Altitude. I'm Kelly O'Shea, and today I have John R. Hutter with me of the Warrior Awakened. JR is a U.S. Army Iraq War veteran, father, and former drug addict and alcoholic who rebuilt his life through discipline, purpose, and self-improvement.
Yep,
JR,
okay.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit. I know you as a local father in the community. Our sons are friends,
Yes,
and
they
I
are.
met you, I think, 5 years ago when I was just about done drinking and in the community and everything. But but tell me a little bit about your past. I guess I'm surprised we didn't cross paths on Clematis
Yeah, I
Street
know,
in the
I know.
early 2000s.
I started in class probably 2008.
Okay,
So
so we just
2008
missed each
till
other.
2000, probably. I mean, I'm still there, to be honest with you.
Right,
yeah,
but not in the
so-
same way.
Yeah, exactly.
I was dancing on the bar at Bradley's.
Nice. I was there for when I was just had gotten out of the military, or still in the military, probably 2002, 2003. I'd go to Bradley's with my fake ID and all that fun stuff. So,
Yep, and then Blue Martini.
Yeah.
So I know we share that kind of similar past, but so tell me a little bit about when you decided to get sober and what happened after that.
Well, I'll make it quick.
It's okay. No, we're happy to have you.
So,
It's great.
basically, I was, like you said, an Iraq War veteran. When I got back here, I was diagnosed with PTSD, bipolar disorder, ADHD, and depression. Which I got on medications and I tried to go to therapy and take care of it. When I had left to go into the military, I worked in the hospitality industry, and naturally, when I got back, that's what I went back to. So I started serving actually at Smoky Bones, which doesn't exist there anymore in Wellington. I was a server, and then I worked my way up to bartender. And as a young man bartending, I wanted to work in nightclubs. So I made the transition from like a restaurant bar to nightclubs. And obviously that's where the drinking starts. And fast forward, I end up walking into a bar and trying to get a job bartending, Jumbie Bay in Jupiter.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
you know Jumbie Bay. I went in there, and the guy said to me, he's like, "Hey, man, we don't hire male bartenders, but I like you, and you're a big guy. Can you do the door?" I'm like, "Sure." So I did the door. DJ that night didn't show up. So he goes, "Here's 2 iPods. Can you play music for me?" I'm like, "Okay." So I'm standing on the stage with like these iPods with the weird mixer, and I'm just, someone actually came and made fun of me while I was up there. But I had a great time. So I'm a very, like I told you, I have ADHD, and I'm very, when I enjoy something, like I'm up there and girls are buying me shots and we're having fun, and
Yeah.
I was like, this is it. I mean, this is what I want to be.
Yeah.
So I basically, I got done with that, and I remember the guy made fun of me, and I was like, okay. So I went and bought my entire turntables, mixer, everything, my own setup, went in my room, watched YouTube videos, and learned how to DJ. So started that journey, became extremely good and popular at what I did. I opened up for numerous huge acts. I've DJ'd the main stage of Sunfest. I was on Wild 95.5.
Wow.
So,
What year was that?
I mean, it all started in 2009 was when it really took off.
Okay.
And then it went all the way till 2018.
Nice.
I opened up for Flo Rida, Marshmello, Sean Paul, a whole bunch of people. And it was crazy because I never even wanted to DJ before.
Right.
So I just kind of fell into it. So long story short, obviously in that lifestyle, the drinking, it got more and more and more. Cocaine started coming in more and more and more. Next thing you know, I'm drinking 5 days a week. I'm doing cocaine every night. I'm depressed. I feel like shit. I'm, suicidal. I'm thinking all these crazy things all the time. And I hit it pretty well. Everyone thought, oh, this guy's like, he's got his shit together. And, but no, absolutely not.
Right.
I would go home and I would cry and be miserable. And this cycle went on for so long, and somehow I didn't get in like a huge amount of trouble. I mean, I was in jail a few times. I got arrested for burglary with battery for going into a house that my girlfriend was at when I found her sleeping with another man.
Oh.
Beat the shit out of him. And obviously I was drinking and on cocaine at the time. So I started dating another girl down the road, and I was watching myself fucking hurt her so bad. So it finally became a point after this whole cycle for 10 years of me just going, okay, my life sucks. I'm going nowhere. I have no money because I'm spending it all on booze and drugs and strippers and all sorts of things. Right. And I decided, I called a friend. I said, hey, man, you still going to AA? And he told me yes. Went to AA. And then first time got sober, which is as a blessing. Now, I was sober for 3 years. But during those 3 years, I was still with the same girl that I had been, doing blow, hiding it from her and all that stuff. 3 years go by and I'm still making bad decisions. I'm feeding my addictions with other things and women and all sorts of stuff. And I'm not happy. I'm still depressed. I'm still miserable. I'm eating like complete shit. I'm eating cake and candy because I think that was a part of like what I was replacing it with. Mm-hmm. And then she ended up kicking me out of her house. I moved into her house.
And did you have Liam yet or no?
Liam towards the end of it, yes. Okay. She ends up kicking me out of her house because she was just done with me because I was just, like I said, being a piece of shit. And that moment was like another low. I had thrown out all my furniture to move in because she just bought a house and I had nothing. Luckily, I had a condo that was in Wellington, but I had nothing. Yeah. So I moved back into there. I had a couch. So I was sleeping on the couch for 2 months, 3 months maybe. But during that time, I'm like, man, I need more in my life. Like, this is not a way to live. Because I thought in my head when I stopped drinking that everything would go away. Yeah. Everything would be great. Everything would be wonderful. And it didn't work out that way. But what I did is the first thing I said, I'm going to do something I didn't do in AA. They told me to do is like pray, find my spiritual side, get on my knees and pray every day. And, they even said it doesn't matter who your higher power is, just, believe in something and pray. So I started getting on my knees and praying. And then I said, I'm going back to the gym. I went to the gym. I made that a non-negotiable. I was going 7 days a week. And for the first time in my life, I dialed in my nutrition. And I think just from those things right there, my mental health started to really change and get better. And then the next thing was I started listening to positive affirmations. I started meditating. And then I just started instilling better habits into my life. Yeah. I built a whole morning routine, which I keep adding to right now. Just to start my day with some positive wins and, all that together, really just my life just started exciting. Like they say, the small wins every single day add up to something big. And that's exactly what happened. Next thing you know, I'm like, opportunities are flying my way and I feel great. And I'm the happiest I've ever been. And, now I'm here and trying to pass that along to other people.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, amazing. So how long have you been sober?
6 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And so tell me, so then when did you start the Warrior Awakened?
Well, the idea was years ago, 2.5 years ago. I signed up for coaching mentorships and built the business out and everything, but I was a little nervous to jump into sobriety because in my head I'm like, what if I fail them? What if I, so it was like, and then on top of that, I was like, how do I find these people? So I first started going into just coaching women to lose weight. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. I mean, right. I helped them, it was great, but it wasn't fulfilling. And I said, I got to do what I set on to do. And so I started building out the new program, built everything out. And I launched it literally 3 or 4 months ago. And slowly it's just been picking up. And now, I've got a big handful of clients and it's a great community. They all chat with each other and they call each other. And, they have their whole program laid out. I write all their custom workouts, custom meals, lessons on mindset. I make them do daily affirmations. I make them do journaling prompts. I make them do a power list of things they want to accomplish for the day.
Wow.
And then I'm there obviously 24/7 to give them accountability, make sure they're doing the right thing and moving towards their goals. Weekly check-ins, Zoom calls each week. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And is this cool. Men and women?
Men and women. I was going to do just men. And then when I started launching it, I had mostly women reaching out to me.
Okay.
So I was like, that's not a good choice to go just men when 75% are women reaching out to me. So Yeah, so now it's just men and women. I might make 2 separate groups within my program, men and women, and then maybe have one where they all interact. But that's something I'm thinking about right now. But that's men and women, yeah.
Now, are these all people that are in recovery
All of
also?
them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they're a lot of them, and that's the thing. We make it custom. We meet them where they're at. Some of them have only been sober for weeks. Some of them have been sober for 3 years. Some of them are just struggling with the same things I was struggling with. They're like, I'm sober, but I'm not where I want to be in life.
Right.
You know, I don't have the energy to work out. I don't have I'm still depressed. I'm still, dealing with whatever it may be in their life. So the idea is to take those people and guide them and have them, do the work and stay on top of them and get them to a point where they're happy.
Yeah. I love that you said do the work, because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know what that means. And
Yeah.
so when I got sober, that wasn't enough for me. I had to do the work. So I actually read a book called How to Do the Work with
Yeah.
Dr. Nicole LaPera. And so I love that you teach that, because it's not just what you eat and how you work out, but
Yeah.
it's those affirmations.
Everything.
And so what does doing the work mean to you? And also I give you a lot of credit as a male. There's not a lot of males out there that have healed and that
Yeah.
are out there helping others.
Yeah.
So kudos
I
to you.
mean, doing the work is like, like I said, some of those things that I assigned, but trying to heal yourself, trying to let go of any shame and guilt, get over, all or nothing thinking, therapy, getting to therapy, meditation, positive affirmations, trying to switch your mindset, to be in a more positive mindset, and then, reading. Some of the things I tell people, like unfollow all the trash on your Instagram feed and start following some more motivational stuff, so you're getting more, so that just constantly and every day, like I said, small steps every day. We write 3 things down that we need to do that is going to help us attain our goals. And I don't overwhelm anyone. I say we're going to just very slowly work into this, do, the little bits of work, and you'll see that a month down the road, all of a sudden all these wins stack up and you're on the right path.
You're so right, because I look back now. So I quit drinking 4 years ago, and then I did the work, and she launched a workbook, and then I also did Sober Sis, an online community.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Because I didn't resonate with AA, and I found it to be very doomsday. And so when I found Sober Sis, and even Dr. Nicole LaPera, How to Do the Work, she had a group called the Self Healers, and I found that type of group support with positive spin, because it wasn't like, I'm a terrible person and I can never drink.
So I went and I tell this to everyone. I try not to offend anyone, because people who go to AA are very grateful and they love it. Yeah. And that's great. It got me sober. To me, I think it was the accountability and having, a sponsor and doing the work on myself, the 12 steps. I mean, a lot of you get good stuff out of it, but I don't understand how you have to walk in there and every day go, hi, I'm JR and I'm an alcoholic, and then talk about all the stupid things you've done in the past and listen to all these stories of things, the negative things that you've done. There's a very negative connotation to everything that goes on in those rooms. Exactly. And it's like, great, it may work for some people, it doesn't work for a lot of people, and the idea is, I just don't understand how you grow and become a better person and reach all your goals if you're sitting in a room going, I'm an alcoholic, I have a disease, every single day of your life. Exactly. That's just mentally, that's going to hold you back. Yeah. And people, maybe they don't agree, but you might not even notice it. But it's just like listening to positive affirmations. Right. You're listening to like negative affirmations. You're just shoving your brain full of stuff that you don't need to listen to. So that's my thoughts.
100%. Yeah. And, and Charles, my husband, didn't really buy into it either. And, I love what you're doing and other people out there. He would have been alive today if he could have found this, and especially with men. And that was a big thing for him, finding like-minded men outside of AA, because he didn't want to go do that after work. He wanted to go do something more positive.
I'm trying to put together hiking trips and different things and stuff like that.
That's amazing. Because you get it. You get the male adrenaline in that system, and that it needs to be channeled into something, or you're just going to keep going through vices, right? So it's interesting. You said to me that you found through doing this, though, that about 85% of people actually relapse within the first year. Yep. And so you've now launched something to help people also who maybe need extra help, and it's called the Warrior Reborn Project. So tell me about that.
All right. So when I started doing the Warrior Awakened program, I launched Instagram ads. And I ran those ads. I've been running ads for a few months now, getting on the phone, DM conversations with so many people. And I realized that most of the people that are reaching out to me, like that really need the help, are people that are just coming out of rehab. They're just coming out of a detox center, halfway house, whatever it may be, or just they've gotten sober, whatever their situation is. But obviously, when you are an alcoholic or a drug addict and you're going through these moments in your life, things aren't going very well for you, you know? So they don't have jobs. They don't have a place to live. They may not, you know, whatever they're struggling with. So obviously, a lot of them don't have money to pay for a coaching program. And obviously, I would love to help everyone for free, but I can't focus my attention on helping people if I don't make enough money to support my life.
Right.
To pay for my bills and my child and all that stuff.
Right.
So I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, what if I started a charity that raised money to pay for scholarships for these people that really need it, you know? And I'm going to partner with different rehab centers and have them kind of be part of their aftercare when they get out, and find the right people. I'm gonna kind of vet them a little bit to make sure they're the type of person that would do the work. Because I don't want someone to come in here and just do it for a week and then take off.
Right.
But so the idea is to help these people, because that's the biggest gap in sobriety, is going from becoming sober to staying sober in the real world, because a lot of people lose their friends because their friends are alcoholics and drug addicts, and they become depressed and they don't have purpose, and they don't know how to live in that new identity. So the idea is to help these people that really need the help by raising money for scholarships, so we can help anyone and everyone. I just literally just finished the website this morning. So
I love it. That's amazing.
So yeah, that's the idea, and you know, I'm still taking clients right now, paid clients, but at some point I think I might just shift totally to helping the people that really need it, that are directly coming out of rehab centers, that need like a 6-month mentorship coaching program, to all the same stuff: fitness, nutrition, mindset, habits. And then, like, if they need, hey, I'm trying to find a job, I need help writing a resume, whatever it may be, being there for them, guiding them, giving them a community to feel comfortable, and, you know, that's the idea.
That's great. And how do people find you predominantly on social media?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Instagram.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I notice some of these people who may be hurting, they're not necessarily on there giving the likes and everything, but they'll definitely
they
you.
message me, and you know, a lot of times they don't even have a picture of themselves, and it's like, you know, and they're kind of laying low, and they're like, hey man, and the thing is, like, I not, if they don't want coaching, I still talk to them. I'll still have a whole conversation with them. I work with a girl who can place people in rehab centers all over the country. So if they need that, I pass them on to her. She's placed a few people that have reached out to me already in rehab centers and detox centers. And, you know, so I'm trying to help anyone. I'll have conversations, and a lot of them are so appreciative just for me to talk to them.
Yeah.
They're like, I have no one to talk to about this.
That's awesome. So it's not just Florida, it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you can coach them and walk them through all this. Okay. Well, that's amazing. And tell me a little bit about, so you said that you have PTSD. Was that from your experience in Iraq?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it was, I think it's a crazy experience, and it's weird for me to think about it now, because if you told me today that I was hopping on a plane and going to Iraq and going to war, I would probably have a meltdown and be like, but they have you programmed so well. Like, you know, and I found out I was going, I was like, okay. And I went and obviously lost some friends and dealt with some intense moments and feared for my life many times. And I think that can, you know, you come back and it's hard to kind of transition into a civilian life after all that.
Yeah.
I remember the first 4th of July, I went down to 4th on Flagler, and all the fireworks going off really triggered me, and I was shaking, and I had to leave.
Wow.
It's all, I've done tons of therapy over the years, and it's all subsided. You know, I still have some dreams. I have, like, you know, war dreams.
Yeah.
Probably once a month. And I also have a reoccurring dream that I lose my M16. And that dream always pops in my head.
Oh my God, that's so interesting.
Yeah, so, but no, I mean, I'm good now, you know?
Yeah.
I've done a lot of work, you know, so.
That's good.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it's crazy just to think of all the things that, you know, we do go through, but, you know, and we do recover. That's the beautiful thing. And I think, you know, for me in writing my book, I think when I got sober, somewhere along the way, I was like, wow, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not because of anything that's happening to me.
Yeah.
Like I used to base my happiness on getting a new client or having an upcoming vacation or something exciting happening. It's like I was in this constant state of reaction.
Yeah.
But similarly, something negative could really ruin my day.
Yeah.
And that was like
I still struggle with that.
Yeah, and that was like my mother, honestly, and that was we around the house. We had to, like, before we even acted, we had to gauge her emotional state, and I don't want to be that way. I wanted to just be happy from within, and so I think once I realized in doing this work, and that you can really find this from within, and I think it's a tremendous testament to the human spirit, right?
Yeah.
And to get out of victimhood, it's so easy for a lot of people to say, "Well, I have PTSD. Well, I had this childhood," or "Well, I had to fight in the war," and but.
Everyone, and that's one thing, is like owning your shit.
Yeah.
You know, and I the people I talk to, a lot of people who blame others or blame other situations, I tell them, I'm like, listen, here's the deal. You can blame others and not accept responsibility. But if you think about the situation, you'll find out 99% of the time, you're going to find out that you made some bad decision that put you in that situation. Like I had a guy go, "Oh, someone stole my bag," da, da, da. And I asked him, I said, "Okay, well, where were you at?" And he's like, "Well, I was at my buddy's house and we were doing some drugs and, doing all this stuff." I'm like, yeah, you put yourself in an environment where that kind of shit would happen.
Right.
So don't get all upset that, some guy stole your bag. Think about, man, I probably shouldn't have been there.
Right.
So yeah, gotta own up to your mistakes.
Accountability. That's a big thing. Yeah. And that was for me, a lot of the people that had like kind of wronged me in the book, I gave them a chance to really all they had to do was apologize or just take some accountability. Like, we get that this happened and this is why, but like there was none of that. And so, and for me, like right now in my life, especially with my son watching everything, accountability and integrity is
integrity is big
thing
to me. That's like that is one of the biggest things I preach also in my program with my clients, is like integrity. And it's something I lacked for all of my life, probably most of my life, until probably 2 years ago. I was doing a lot of stupid things, and this is a story I tell all the time, like where I used to go to Target and steal shit in the self-checkout line.
Okay.
And I'm just like, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? And I will not throw a straw wrapper on the ground. I try to live with integrity in everything I do, to know that I'm a good person and know that I'm a better man than I was.
That's so great.
No.
When you started to do the work and you went back, did you find anything? Because I know for me, when I was partying back then, I wanted to know in the mornings when I woke up and hated myself why I kept doing this. Like, what is underlying this? So did you find out anything interesting there?
Well, I definitely thought about it a lot. If I dig in and dig deep, I think it was a place of self-esteem, and I think it had a lot to do with wanting people to like me and fit in, and then numbing the pain from whatever, from all. I mean, I have other mental health issues beyond all this, so I think numbing those issues for that moment, because the reality is it only makes it worse the next day. But self-esteem, I wasn't very outgoing. I felt like I needed booze to talk to girls, and I needed other people's validation. And if everyone's drinking, I want to be a part of their thing. And that's how I found my friends. And I think I would probably say the self-esteem issue was one of the main reasons.
It's interesting because it was the exact same for me. And I completely lacked self-esteem. And this was unfortunately further cemented in me by the men I dated and my immediate family, that I was worthless and not deserving of anything great. And so, of course, you seek that in other people. And then you believe that. So that's why we like damage ourselves, and then we sabotage anything good that comes into it, right? But I remember being in those bars in the early 2000s, and like we were not there to connect. We were there to like look past each other and like, I'm cooler than you, and like not make any eye contact, and like, what is the point of that? We're spending all this money, we're getting all dressed up.
I say all the time to people, like, looking back at it, what a weird concept, right? It's like, especially like nightclubs. Like, you go in, you pay all this money to go into a nightclub, you buy bottles of booze, and you sit in VIP and you just take selfies all day.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, and the people that are getting hammered, and and I think like you have to get hammered in those environments because it's really not fun.
Right.
I mean, unless you like to dance and whatever, but most people are just sitting around.Ey're removing dance floors out of most clubs now because people just want VIP. So they're expanding VIP, and everyone's just sitting there taking pictures of themselves. And this is so stupid.
They're not even talking. And if you try to talk, you have to scream.
Yeah.
And I know because I do go out now because I'm like trying to figure, like I love going out to like dress up, connect with friends, and maybe get a little attention. Yeah. But when I'm out there trying to connect, you can't at nightclubs where it's like everyone's like, it's so loud. So
it's ridiculous.
That's why I've become a happy hour girl again, just so I can like talk to people. It's good to like go out and connect.
Yeah, I do the same.
Yeah, but I mean, I know it's remarkable that we made it through those days, because then for me too, like I would be like so insecure when I would show up, but then 4 vodka sodas later, and all of a sudden, and I'm listening to rap music, and
well, that's the thing. Is like, so as soon as I had some drinks in me, I was the life of the party. I was the coolest guy in town, and I think I just like fed off that. I'm like, oh, these people think I'm hilarious. They think I'm cool, and it was like that's probably another. I think it all boils back down to self-esteem. But I was the coolest guy in the room because I was fun and I was exciting, and now I'm like I'm boring, and I love it. I love being boring. I love sitting around watching Netflix and not going to bed at 9 o'clock at night.
Yes.
Waking up at 5 and kicking ass, you know?
And the same with the girls, though. I would rather, back then, I wanted friends that were hot, because like when we show up at a class, we get a lot of attention, but those girls didn't care about me. There was no substance in those friendships. No. So again, waking up in the morning feeling so alone. And that's when I tell people when I go out, they're like, you never think about just having one? And I'm like, no, because I don't think of that 20 minutes you're going to feel good. I think of the next morning, waking up, not knowing where I am or if my son's okay, and that's not worth it to me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So walk us through, like you said, you keep adding to your morning routine. So walk us through your morning routine.
Okay. I was actually going to post something about it today. So
perfect.
My morning routine right now is I get up at 5 a.m. and I shifted that. I was up at 6:30, then I did a week of 6, and then I did a week of 5:30, and I did a week of 5.
Okay.
And I'm shifting my time I go to bed. I got to get better at putting the TV off and actually going to sleep. Except my crazy kid wants to play Fortnite all night.
Yeah, with mine.
Yeah, exactly. But I wake up. The first thing I do is get up. I go right to the shower. I take a shower, brush my teeth, and do all that stuff. But then I have a thing called a chief aim statement that's taped to my mirror, which is basically you reciting a statement that you are the person that you want to be a year down the road. So I recite the statement. I'm this coach. I have hundreds of clients, and I'm helping all these people. After the statement, I do a prayer, and as soon as I'm done with the prayer, I go make my bed. That's a big thing. I can't skip making my bed, so I make my bed. I go out to the kitchen. I do 100 push-ups, and 100 push-ups. Oh, I do my journaling prompts, my affirmations, and my power list for the day. And then I take my gym supplements, and I eat a small breakfast, and then I go outside and I do a mile lap around my complex while I listen to positive affirmations, and then I get right in the car and I go to the gym.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And every day.
Every day.
Awesome.
Without fail.
And you have your son half the time.
2 days. Just right now, 2 days a week.
Okay.
We kind of go back and forth. I used to have him 3, and but it's just he's in Jupiter, so it's hard for me to like drive all the way from Royal Palm to bring him to school. I did it today. It's a 2-hour drive.
But I love that because I'm using this as an example because you're using that extra time though for yourself and your business, and I think that's so important. And I can't say this enough. I think parents do themselves a disservice when they race right back into a relationship because there's so much power within us and all these things that we're doing with work and ultimately trying to help others. But like you said, we have to pay our own bills too. It's a lot. Yeah. And also to have grace on ourselves because I also abandoned myself back then. And so even now, like I have a ridiculous goal list for Q4. And I had one friend lately tell me like, can we expand this into Q1? Because like, I don't know what you're trying to prove. And I'm like, right, this is the old me trying to like prove. You have to take your time.
And trust me, I have no patience. So I'm sitting here with this program running ads and clients are trickling in and I'm not closing some calls and I'm getting so angry and I'm like, calm down, this takes a while. Like most of the people that mentored me told me it took them 3 years to get to the point where they're at, where they're making good money, and I'm here like 3 months into it and getting mad. I'm like, because there's so many tweaks that I have to do. So I'm trying not to set, and that's what I tell my clients, the goals we set, let's not set them too high. Let's make them very obtainable. Yeah. And then take small steps to get there. Because what happens is if you set too high of a goal, you fail and you just completely lose interest in continuing. I want to avoid that happening with my clients. Yeah. I don't need them getting discouraged because they didn't achieve a goal because we set a goal that was way too high. Hey, I'm going to lose 50 pounds the next month.
Right. So, exactly.
Yeah.
And you have to build in time for rest. Like yesterday, I felt like I was going to spend the whole time like studying for the real estate exam because I'm adding that to my list of things to do because I want to sell in the Caribbean. But I'm like, I don't need to do this by Christmas. Like I have so many other things going on that like I just need to give myself some grace. Like I needed to just do yoga.
I learned that I try not to take on anything else right now. My focus is the business. Back in the day, I used to have all these different things I was doing, running events, doing this business, DJing, photography, this and that. And it's hard to get good at one thing if you spread yourself so thin.
Right.
And there was a video I watched, Alex Hormozy, about the woman in the red dress. And the woman in the red dress is like the distraction, the next thing you want to do or what you want to achieve. You have your thing that you're doing, but the woman in the red dress is always distracting you, like, onto doing something else.
Right.
So I try to be laser focused on what I'm doing, learning to say no to people when they're asking me to do shit.
Yeah.
And just focus, that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, no, it's so important. And then I also think, of course, raising our sons. And, I think it's an honor to raise this alpha generation, because I think that, they're going to make up for some that Gen Z maybe lacked a little bit.
Yeah, so I hope so.
So, I mean, in that, like, what are your, like, main pillars of fatherhood, would you say?
Oh, man. Honestly, the main thing, some of the main things for me is teaching my kid being polite, having manners, and treating others with respect.
Yeah.
That is a lot of what I have worked with him on. There's some things I definitely lack. I let him get away with a lot and let him do things he probably shouldn't do. But and also I like to teach him that, how real the world is and the things we struggle with. That's why he listens to all these things that I'm going through. And I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell him, hey, this is what I did. This is how it happened. This is what came of it. Maybe telling, because I didn't learn any of that stuff, maybe having these conversations with him will help him from not getting sucked into the same hole that I got sucked into.
Right.
But honestly, just being a good person. That's like the main thing that I really is important to me.
Yeah, and I love that because they're so alike. They were together at my book launch. You were DJing, and the two of them, and they are just so cool, and they're not afraid to be themselves.
Yeah,
I saw Liam last week.
And that's another thing, making sure that he's very independent.
Yes, independent and free. And that's the thing. I saw him. He was riding his bike the other day, and he has his dinosaur helmet, and his shirt was unbuttoned. And I was like, I love this kid. He's just him and Dylan. They're just themselves.
Yeah, I know.
But they don't care.
Oh man, he's a nut.
All right. Well, thank you. So now, where can people find you if they want your coaching or they want to talk about?
At the Warrior Awakened on Instagram.
Okay.
Let's not. I don't want to overwhelm anyone. We'll just say at the Warrior Awakened.
You can find him
Instagram.
at the Warrior Awakened on Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you,
Cool.
JR. This was awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate you.